A dream team faces Croatia, making its first appearance under that name in the Olympics. Croatia, of course, is one of the republics which used to make up Yugoslavia. Now, more than ever, nationalism and sport are intertwined in Europe, and nowhere is that more in evidence than in the former republics of Yugoslavia. 8 years ago, the world was introduced to the city of Sarajevo. There, the athletes of the world gathered for the Olympic Winter Games. But the peaceful industrial city has now turned into a bloody battleground. Serbian aggression has left upwards of 14,000 dead and more than 2.5 million displaced. Despite the continuing violence in the former Yugoslavia, the 6 republics are well represented in Barcelona. Slovenia was the first to officially break away, but in rapid succession, the republics splintered and the violence intensified. Now, from the perspective of sports, had Yugoslavia remained intact, it might have provided some reasonable competition for the United States in basketball. Some of the names from the region are names that many American sports fans are familiar with. Vlade Divac was a star on the Yugoslavian team, but he's Serbian, so while he can play in the NBA, he isn't allowed to play in Barcelona. Croatia's Drazen Petrovic is with the Nets, so soon he'll be playing for Chuck Daly, not playing against him. But the player who draws the most interest on the Croatian team is Toni Kukoc. You might say he's Europe's version of Magic Johnson. He's had his life uprooted in the past year by the violence in the republics.
For all of us, it's very difficult because we have a family, we have friends down there. So when you heard on the TV, reading the newspapers, people still dying, it's not easy.
Though just 23, Kukoc is considered the best player in the world not playing in the NBA. The Chicago Bulls drafted him 2 years ago, and the zest with which they tried to sign him didn't sit too well with a couple of Chicago players.
From what people have told me, could have made our team better. But at the circumstances that his name was being talked about, was disrupting the chemistry of our team. You know, Pippin was looking forward to another contract. But yet, you know, they were talking about bringing in Kukoc, which would have been a competitive situation in terms of money and deal.
You know, at the time, I did feel like that, you know, they was holding off on negotiating my contract because of him. But, you know, there was nothing I can do. It was really out of my power.
I don't know, but if Chicago Bulls want me, for sure, I want to go.
You know, I would love to see him come and help the team, but I don't think that we need to bend over backwards for him.
The way that it was being talked about really disrupted our team at that particular time. But I think, and from what I've heard that he's a very talented player and could help our team. But I don't know when he's going to come to the city of Chicago. We'd love to have him, but that's still something that we don't control.
Well, it's reasonable to think it's only a matter of time before Kukoc comes over to play in the NBA. Today, his Croatian team soundly beat Brazil, 93-76. Kukoc had only 11, but Drazen Petrovic hit for 22. Kukoc guarded Oscar Schmidt, the scoring machine from Brazil, who was playing in his 4th Olympics, at least most of the time. It was Kukoc on Schmidt, and Schmidt was held to 26 points, which is pretty much holding him in check by his standards. Tomorrow night, as we said, it's the USA versus Croatia. Our coverage will begin just a few minutes after we come on the air at 7:30 Eastern and Pacific time tomorrow evening, and we'll stay with the game in its entirety at least through halftime and as long into the second half as the game remains reasonably competitive, and it ought to be more competitive than today's USA game against Angola. That final, in case you missed it, 116-48. And in the first half, which ended with the U.S. up 64-16, the Dream Team had a 46-1 run against the Angolans. We'll take a break here, let that sink in, and then when we come back, more gymnastics coverage.